Okay, I had our first practice today in Shells. It was a good one. We really went into the practice really wanting to strain our guys. It was hot, and I think that's a good thing. Did a whole lot of 11-on-11 against each other. I think about 40 minutes. Got a chance to, we went all three groups, got a chance to really give everybody an opportunity to get out there and see what they could do. Went inside, for a while. So it was really good information for our players. Right now, of course, when you have everybody in your team get a chance to get out there and do things, this will be a really good evaluation, from the film for our coaches. One thing, Cord Sandberg did show up today and practice for the first time. It was good to have him out there. He did a little bit of 7-on-7, a little bit of 1-on-1. Just trying to acclimate him to what we're doing. But, overall, I thought our guys' tempo, I've been really stressing our tempo. I thought our tempo was better. Like I said, got a lot of reps, and, we've really been focusing on the mental toughness, the physical toughness. And just after 3 days, each day we've gotten better. And that was really my challenge to our guys after the first 2 days, and we'll continue that challenge as we go. Questions?
How did Sandberg throw the ball today?
Pretty good. I mean, he's a professional baseball player. The ball comes out pretty natural. It's just going to take him a little bit of time to get used to a bigger ball. But, he's kind of a timing thrower type deal anyway. So, but for the first day, I thought he did a solid job.
He had to be in short for 2 days.
Yes, he's got to be in shorts for 2 days. So he did, some 7-on-7 and did some 1-on-1, and he'll be in shorts again tomorrow during his acclimation period.
Gus, if you work Mike Horton a little bit more at center, how's he look?
Yes, so practice 2, Mike Horton did primarily center the whole time. Today he went back to guard, and I think JB's plan is to put him back to center tomorrow. And, hopefully after that first scrimmage, like I was talking about, we'll be able to at least put some guys in position. I think I said that day one, that's our goal now. That's really fast-paced as far as making, important decisions. But, hopefully we'll have the information we need by then, being 27 days away from our first game right now.
What did you think about his appearance at center, though?
Yeah, they did a solid job. For the first time, like I've said before, he has snapped the last couple of years. We always train our guards. But, for the first day in there, the snaps were solid, and I thought he did a good job. Now, keep in mind, that was helmets only. So we'll see what happens tomorrow.
Gus, what have you seen out of Caleb Kim in 3 days? Just kind of that spot?
Yeah. Caleb's fighting for the starting position, and Caleb's been here for a while, and he knows the offense. He understands everything, and, he's competing for the starting spot, and, I think he's done some good things.
With Calvin Ashley, is that a situation where you're going to keep him at guard no matter what, or is there possibly moving the top?
Yeah, as of right now, we're working him at guard and trying to get him comfortable. That's his first 3 days really to do it, and I think he's done some good things. And, but like I said earlier, he does have the ability to play tackle, but right now we're pretty committed to him playing guard, and I think for the first 3 days, that's a different position. It's different inside than out, and, I think he's progressing. And but yeah, that's our plan for right now.
How are those guys, Tayshawn Manning and Calvin, handling that, knowing that Mike's probably the starter there if he stays at guard, but they could be in just a two-man battle, so to speak?
Yeah, they're competing. They're competing for playing time. Calvin's competing for a starting job. There's a lot of competition right now, and that's the good thing. The good thing is there's a lot of competition. Okay, but when you're 27 days away, you want to put the pieces of the puzzle sooner rather than later. So it's kind of one of those things that's good, the competition, but, the quicker that we can get them in places, the better.
Is that something where you usually kind of giving a guy an idea of what you're going with going into a game week when classes start? Is there a possibility you try that a little bit earlier this year as a result of it still August?
We're hoping that we can do it sooner rather than later. Our goal is by the end of the first scrimmage, but I can't guarantee that'll happen, and that's what we told our players. They're competing, and There's good competition, though. I will say that. I mean, there's good competition. We just got some guys that are a little inexperienced that just need experience, and that's why we did a whole bunch of 11 on 11 today. You know, not just for him, but I mean for a lot of our young guys. You know, you look at you know, the young receivers. You know, there's a good chance that those young receivers will be on the field game 1 here in 27 days, and so we've got to give them as many reps as we can, you know, especially the guys that just got here, you know, that weren't here in the spring. So, and there's other positions like that too, but, you know, but I love their attitudes. I mean, our young guys, I mean, their attitudes are good. They're hungry. You know, they're competitive. They just need to get out there and do it.
With that competition on offense, open, or really on everywhere, but especially on offense, how have those newcomers, how have they progressed in just 3 days?
Yeah, you know, the skill guys on offense, I would say every one of them has done something the first 3 days that have impressed me, that tell me that, you know, they'll all be solid players or possibly good players before it's all said and done. So that's the encouraging thing. You know, just the young skill, and there's going to be some guys that you're going to see out there this year, and some of those guys will be on the field that first game.
Gus, we've seen guys at receiver over the years take big steps from one year to the next. Sammy did it, Ricardo did it, Ryan certainly.
Yeah.
What are you seeing with Darius, where now you're having a guy with his third year, nearly doubled his production, more than doubled his production last year? What do you hope to see from him?
You know, just after the first 3 days, I can tell that he's improved since the spring. So that is a really good thing. You know, I know Cody's really been working hard on his intermediate routes, and he's off to a really good start these first 3 days, but we're going to be asking a whole lot of him. And we'll be asking a whole lot of Nate. And then Ryan. I mean, those are the 3 guys that really have the experience. And, you know, with Will and Eli's situation up in the air, you know, so we're going to be relying on some of those young guys for depth. But those 3 guys, you know, we're really challenging them all 3 to really take that next step. And you know, so and we're off to a good start so far.
Well, you've always asked the X to be more that vertical guy. That's always been our role. How much should have been talked about a little bit? How much has this offseason been focusing, trying to maybe diversify what you expect of the X, and whether it's theirs or anybody else, just diversifying what they're.
You know, I think you know Chip doing the evaluation of last season and tendencies and everything that goes with it. You know, he's aware of all that, and you know, as a coach, you try to do the best you can to use your tendencies against other people. And obviously, you know, the first game, you know, you've got a huge volume of games and tendencies and everything, and you know, you just got to be aware of those, and you got to use them, you know, against them.
We've seen Darius Slayton be able to step up last year. We haven't quite seen Nate Craig Myers consistently do that. Do you believe this is the year he?
Yeah, I really do, and here's why. You look at the end of the season; that's when he started really coming on, and I really think it's a matter of just giving him some more opportunities. I know that Chip and Cody have been talking about that, and we've done that so far in these first 3 days of practice too. So, you know, and all 3 of those guys have game experience. All 3 of those guys have big game experience. So, you know, that's very important.
Gus, could you talk about a guy like Derek Brown, who's an academic honor roll guy and a student athlete leader and also a great player.
Yeah.
What all that together means?
Yeah, you know, that's I think that's probably rare to see someone as talented and as well-rounded as Derek, and I think that's a tribute to his parents. His parents raised him and just did a super job with him, and since he's been here, you know, he's really grown, and you know, I'm real proud of the person that he is off the field, and then on the field, his play speaks for itself.
What have you seen from Whitlow these first few practices?
Yeah, you know, Whitlow's caught my eye a couple times. I mean, he, you know, he's playing with great effort and great energy. You can tell he is playing with urgency and wanting to be a factor this year, and that's a good thing. And then there's some good competition, you know, with those running backs. And, you know, like I said, today was really good because we had, you know, 3 different groups and got a chance for everybody to get multiple reps, not just a few, and give those guys an opportunity to show what they can do. And the thing about running back, I mean, you know, yeah, you got to run the football, and most running backs we recruit can run the football, but you've got to protect. You got to know your check downs. There's a whole lot of the other things that it takes, to be a running back, at this level.
He's obviously electric, and
What's that? He's gotten better, and like I said, I think that the thing about it is urgency. I mean, it's important to him. You can really tell that he's very urgent and wanting to play. I mean, if he makes a mistake, he's not happy about it, and that's always a good sign.
Asa Mark came in early, got bigger and stronger since the spring. How has he progressed now?
Yeah, he's off to a good start. He's out there, and the fact that he came in the spring, he doesn't look like a freshman right now. That's probably the best way to put it. And he is bigger and stronger than when he first got here, and he has that attitude that he's wanting to play, and he's a real confident guy.
who are you looking at punt return right now early, and especially among some of the young guys that have first come in here?
Yeah, Tut and Matthew Hill are two guys that we're really focusing on right now. Obviously, we have Ryan Davis, but those are the two that both of them have playmaking ability, and every day's catching punts, and and so far, they're doing a good job catching the football. Now, come that first scrimmage, we're going to see what they can do in a live situation. That's usually when you can really tell pretty quick.
So you will go live with punts?
Yes, definitely.
What's the challenge of guys learning to think, call a fair catch on kickoff?
Yeah. I think there's strategy. There's strategy involved, and that's part of coaching to direct them when to and when not to. So I think you'll see most teams be very strategic with that, and it could simplify things too. Because there's a lot of different things on kickoffs teams do. They overload, they weave, they do a lot of things to mess up number counts, and so I think most teams will really use that to their advantage. If it's a really complicated system and things you have to do, and you could see a little bit more fair catching. And then sometimes there's advantages, especially when we got a returner, obviously like Noah with what he did last year. We really think that he has a chance to even take that next step. And then of course we got some young guys that just came in that can really run, and so we'll see. But I know Larry's got a plan, and each week there'll be a strategy that goes with it.
With Ryan Davis, just because he's playing so much at receiver for you, do you think about giving him a break at punt return, this year, or do you think
I think if he's our best punt returner, we'll give him a break on offense. I mean, that's a critical position, and just catching the ball, there's a little bit of stress that goes up from a coach's standpoint when that ball goes up in the air, just to make sure it's caught and secured and not fumbled. So you got to trust the guy, and then he's got playmaking ability. He's a real confident guy. And usually if you make the first one or two miss, you got a chance for a big one. So, if he is the best one, he'll be out there, and we'll rest him on offense if he needs that.
Gus, going back to running backs for a second, you mentioned protection. Last year in the Clemson game particularly, you said protection was the reason why Cam Martin wasn't out there. You were concerned about the linebacker. We had a bigger back, with Pat Way, and it's just a better matchup, so it wasn't so negative about Cam Martin. Now, I will say Cam's gotten bigger now, and, there'll be times you'll see Cam cut him, so, he's ready. We have confidence in Cam, and, we feel like he'll be able to run the entire offense, this year.
Any of the young guys catch your eye in the first 3 days?
The three, receivers really caught my eye. Matthew Hill, Schwartz, and then I will say Shivers too. Running back. I mean, he plays at a different speed. Schwartz plays at a different speed, and Matthew Hill has done a solid job too. And defensively, Richard Jabuner has really caught my eye. Now, I'll say this. I mean, if I just took some individuals, but if you put everybody together as a group of coming in, I would say the coaches right now are pleased with where the whole group is, which that's kind of rare, because usually after 3 days, guys are, what may take him a year and all that stuff, and I don't think that's the case with this group. And, of course, when we recruited them, we felt like it was going to be a really good group anyway. And, So far so good. I mean, it's early, but right now I'd say we feel really good about the group as a whole.
Is that something where you're just cautiously optimistic until you give them in pads and see?
Yeah, you don't. Yeah, I'll say this: the first 2 days you can learn something, but when you get in pads, it's probably times 10 what you really can evaluate and learn about them. So, you know.
What is it in particular about Matthew Hill that's really impressed you so far?
You know, I think his playmaking ability, and he's really quick. He attacks the ball, and you know, he's a real confident guy too. You got to be confident when you're a freshman. The biggest challenge for freshmen is mentally. A lot of guys are talented enough to be out there, but just the mental aspect of everything that goes with it. But so far, after 3 days, you know, his mental aspect, I've been impressed with.
He's not a small guy, but he has that wiggle to how valuable could that be?
Oh yeah, he's quick. He's quick and fast, and you know, he's under control. So he's a playmaker.
Because Carlton drew so much attention last year, deservedly so.
Who did?
Carlton Davis.
Okay.
Corner, he
Okay.
Deservedly got a lot of attention and praise. Jamel, there's a lot of rankings out there that have him last year as one of the most difficult corners to throw against in the country. Just how, I don't want to say underrated necessarily, but how good do you view him? How dominant do you view him in practice?
Yeah, he's big time. He's a big time player. He just does his job, and he can fly. He's a big guy, long arms, can fly. He's a technician. He's smart. You know, you want to know where he's at from an offensive standpoint. That's probably the best way to put it.
What's the difference you've noticed in those first week or two between like a championship type team that sit together and one that might can get there, but you're not sure? What's the difference?
Yeah, you know, I'll say this about this group. You know, we have experience back that we know, and we've challenged those guys to get better and to be leaders and multipliers and, you know, affect everybody else. Probably the biggest thing is, you know, these young guys, getting these young guys and getting our offensive line and getting everything together, the pieces of the puzzle, and then you kind of know more. So, you know, I'll probably be able to answer that question a little bit better here in about 2 weeks, but I like our team. I'll say that. I like our team. I like our coaches. I mean, you know, as far as that goes. So, but just, you know, my, I don't want to say stress, but I just want to get the pieces of the puzzle put together. But that's a process, and like I said, hopefully we'll have that sooner rather than later.
What day exactly is that scrimmage? I know you said 6 or 7.
My days are, what is today?
Today is Sunday.
Is today Sunday? Okay, all right. It's on Wednesday. Thursday. We got an off day. We got an off day. Could you ask me complicated questions now? That's 4 days away.
The young guys, how valuable could that be on special teams?
Yeah.
Not just in return.
There's no doubt. I'm glad you said that, because there's some guys that I'll tell you right now, if they will keep progressing and they keep doing what they're doing, it's going to help us on special teams. I mean, there's some guys that can run. They're athletic, and you know, in the past when we've had some really good special teams, a lot of freshmen were factors on that, and I think that could be the case this year too.
You got a chance to look a little bit more at the Australian, and when you saw him on tape, I know you mentioned the ball wasn't.
You're right.
So, but what have you noticed about him? How's the hang time?
You know, I tell you what, really, I mean, he has a leg. He has a good leg. We knew that when we recruited him. The thing that stood out to me is, you know, he's a competitor. I mean, he's a competitor. But I'll say this: Aiden Marshall has raised his game from last year, this year, big time. So it's a really good competition. And you know, this time last year, just feeling about, you know, our punting game is like night and day. And it's a great competition. But he's a competitor, and you know, it's great competition.
What's changed in Aiden, you think?
He's gotten bigger and stronger. You know, and I think too the confidence, he kicked in some big games, and the confidence he has, and he's a confident guy too, and he's a competitor too. So, and then a guy shows up that has a huge leg, and you know, has a way of even making you better, and I think that's what we're seeing so far.
Anything else?
All right, thanks guys.